Alrighty guys, so here we are trying out the MBSs, and I gotta say, it is a weird feeling. Also, just want to send this out there. Even if your weight is distributed properly for the braking, you do stay nice and secure. But the question everybody wants to know, how do I bail? Just give it a little half turn and out you come. It's pretty easy. I'm also not strapped in for dear life. So the way these work, you put your foot in and you rotate, you give it a little ratchet. That's it. And now you're locked in. So let's see. May have to make some adjustments because I think I need a little bit more of my weight forward on my foot. But they are surprisingly comfortable. So now, let's see what this does for the turning radius. First we're going toe side. You certainly don't feel like you're falling off, but not exactly the best turning radius on these trucks no matter what you do. Okay, at some point my board will stop moving. Okay. Lord help me, I'm going in reverse. No, I'm not. All right. Okay, so I got my left foot a little further in. Let's go toe side. Toe side has always been my problem for tight turning anyway. So let's see how that works. Now that we're strapped in and I don't have to worry about constantly fighting my brain, let's see if we can do a 180 toe side or a heel side. Alrighty, here we go. It's weird. I'm fighting my brain, but I just accomplished a 180 heel side, and we'll do it again. In case you hadn't noticed, the turning circle on this thing is quite big. It is not the most nimble. Again, I have to keep fighting my brain. I have to get a little bit of speed, but you can really commit. I think with the heel straps I'd be fully committed and I'd be able to get a much better turning radius, because then you can just about do the Michael Jackson on these things. But so far, I'm digging it. It does make carving a lot more fun. Obviously, I don't have too many opportunities to off-road here. Again, I tried to go up to the mountains. As you can tell by those awesome dark clouds, it is rainy. All right, and we are clear. Still can't decide if I like it or not with these bindings, but we're gonna commit and we're gonna trust the process. We're gonna go from there. This is a totally new experience for me, not something I'm used to. The other thing I've noticed, I'm able to definitely do more weight rear, which is actually how you're supposed to ride a mountain board with bindings. So I'm gonna see what braking is like. Woo! Yeah, these brakes is nice. They're not always the most engaging, as you guys just witnessed. I think it's a hobby wing thing. I'm pretty sure it's not an ace deck thing. Alrighty guys, so I've made a neat little discovery. By changing the angle at which you're standing and while carving, it takes a lot of that weird foot stress pressure off. Also, I think these convers may not be the best choice for this application. I think my footprints would have made a much better choice, just because they've got a bit more padding on the heel. But I just want to show you this. So I'm already actually riding faster now. It's sitting at between 18 and 20K. And just, I think the other part of this that I'm feeling is if I really wanted to get the most out of these, I should have, I think, the red bushings installed in the front. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I still haven't tried it with the full reds yet. I went straight to the white with the red. I'm very happy with it overall, especially when I de-weight the front. It makes carving interesting, and it is quite counterintuitive. So I'm going to recommend to people who like me, don't have a lot of experience with the bindings yet, make sure you're riding on something like this. Don't just commit yourself to full send. Get used to them. Give yourself a few miles, a couple hours, maybe even a few sessions before you try to take these off-road, because there is definitely some adjusting to do. So on the front, I think I'm going to bump the inboard. I'm going to bump that up exactly 1 tooth on the cam lock. See if that gives me a little bit of a better feeling. The feeling of being locked in is not the issue whatsoever. It's just the feeling of, like, I'm so used to being able to shift my feet around to take pressure off of spots, and I just can't do that, obviously, because I'm strapped to the board now. By carving, once it gets uncomfortable, you just carve a little. You give yourself a little bit of relief. I'm well past the 1 mile point now. I'm just coming up on damn near the 2 mile point, actually. It's I don't know, just about 4K, give or take, for my metric folks. But I'm enjoying it, minus the airplanes going off overhead. I mean, it is an airport. What can you do? We're gonna go back over that rough terrain that I went over yesterday during the long ride after the shakedown. Go ahead and check that video out over here if you haven't seen it yet. Of course, you haven't seen it yet because I haven't actually edited it yet. But you will see it. And hopefully you'll give me a like and a thumbs up, which tells me you're getting some value out of this. So we're going to go ahead and cross the street, and then we're going to see how this is on some pretty rough, rooty type terrain while actually remaining on the asphalt, or asphalt, depending on where you're from. I do love the fact that I don't have to pay quite as close of attention to the braking when I'm strapped in. I like that. It's actually kind of a nice feeling. We're going to go ahead and make that quick adjustment. We're just going to come up 1 tooth, lock it in, oh yeah, that's good. Oh, that actually made a world of difference. Yes, it did. I now feel wonderfully supported, and I don't have a weird pressure on the outboard bones of my foot just south of my pinky toe. For lack of a better description, I don't know, I'm not a freaking medical doctor. All right. Now this is great, being locked in. Morning. Definitely feels a lot better unweighting the front. And as you can see, I'm going over some pretty bumpy stuff. Might want to slow down a little bit. But yeah. Alrighty, so I've made some adjustment to the tension again. This time it's just the ratchet. Feels much better, and more importantly, it's keeping my foot flat in regards to how it sits on the deck. What that does is, it's kind of hard to tell here. Let me find a good spot. So it lets you really lean in when you need to, and just kind of chill out when you don't. It's not bad. It's not uncomfortable, even on a street riding scenario. I don't know that these are for everybody. Some people have commitment issues, you know. Yeah, feels quite nice. It is significantly reduced after a plastic. All right, so now you're kind of getting a chance to see a little bit, hopefully, just how bad some of this road is. And this bike path isn't even that old, but you guys can see that last time I was on the fence about whether or not I was coming off the board. I committed to it going out, and then I didn't coming back. Well, I stayed on the board just fine. I felt no loss of control whatsoever. Again, when you hit situations like that, you want to de-weight the front, keep your weight in the rear, and just let the front suspension do its thing. It's very counterintuitive to everything that most of you guys know about e-skate, but I assure you it is the correct way. If you do that, especially with the bindings on, you're not worried about coming off balance anywhere near as bad as you are if you try to ride it like that without bindings. But as evidenced by my earlier couple of videos, I rode it that way just fine without the bindings. But I would say adding the bindings definitely adds a level to this that is quite satisfactory, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of your ear. I'm gonna ride back to the car. I'm gonna start editing. This will probably be the first video, and we'll go from there. Feels wonderfully secure, and I can actually feel the channel trucks doing their thing as it's going over that. You can actually feel the bushings. The other thing of note is the bushings have really broken in nicely. I'm keeping these settings for sure. Okay, we're gonna drop a little bit of speed. Whoa. All right. Yeah, that was a little rough, but very doable. And you have the precision to point yourself where you need to go